Well, hi, everyone. Thank you for making time today to join us in Cincinnati, Ohio, USA for the Admitted International Student Next Steps webinar. My name is Nick Paddock. I'm an assistant director in the International Admissions Office. I'm here with a couple of my coworkers and a wonderful UC student here to share with you what your next steps are as an international student. So I'd like Preet, would you go ahead and introduce yourself?
Hey, yes. Hi, everyone. My name is Preet Kamasia. I'm from India. I'm a first year studying finance and business analytics. It's nice to be here.
Thank you, Preet. Stacy?
Hi everyone, my name's Stacy. I'm originally from Trinidad and Tobago, and I was actually an international student myself. So if you ever have any questions, feel free to reach out. And I actually started my first week at the International Admissions Office last week.
Awesome. Thank you. Lynn?
So, hey everyone, my name is Lynn, and I'm also an international admissions counselor, and I work primarily with international students who are living in the US. So a few of you, so if you have any questions about, your status or anything like that, I'm here for you. And I'm also from Norway, and I was an, international student myself, so.
Thank you, Lynn. And for myself, I'm from this area, and I went to a local high school and attended UC many years ago. So before we get into all of your next steps information, I want to congratulate you on being admitted to the University of Cincinnati. Good job, congratulations. I know it's a big achievement. It was probably maybe stressful or challenging to fill out the application and go through the entire process and wait to find out your decision. So again, you did it. We're proud of you and happy to share what you need to do next in order to enroll in classes for this summer or fall, depending on what term you're admitted to. For today's webinar, we're going to cover a lot of information. First, we're going to have Preet talk about the student orientation leaders and what their role is for you until you start your classes. And then we'll talk about the Bearcat Portal. And this is a great landing page for all admitted students to go to complete their next steps. And as an international student, you'll have a second portal called iBearcatsGlobal portal, where you'll have 9 additional steps to complete and costs. So if you have any questions during the presentation, please write them down in the chat feature. At the end of the presentation, myself, Preet, Stacy, and Len will go through those questions and provide you your answers, okay? Hopefully we'll have some time for a breakout room at the end so that those of you who are in the US can meet with Lynn as a small group and chat a little further and get to know her a little more, okay? So Preet, I will hand it over to you to go ahead and begin discussing student orientation leaders and the purpose of you and your peers. Okay, thanks.
Hi, thanks, Nick. Okay, hey everyone, my name is Preet Kamasia. As I said earlier, I am a student orientation leader here at UC, and I am a first year studying finance, and I'm from India. Okay, so us as student orientation leaders, we are your first point of contact with the university. If you have any questions or any problems regarding admissions, we are the people who you talk to. Each incoming student has been assigned with one student orientation leader who you can email anytime and they'll be there for you. Our job is basically welcoming new incoming students and all their family members and guests to UC. And during in-person orientations through June, from June through August, we lead discussion groups and invite incoming students to and guests to the campus and give them a tour. We have many fun activities and games, and we go through security protocols and other information about the campus. We can also help in academic procedures and opportunities. It is basically involving the job is more of for advisors, but we still can help you because we are students as well, and we have gone through the same process that you are going through right now. As I said earlier, we give campus tours and we show you all the buildings where all your classes will be and all of the campus services that the campus provides. And there are 2 sessions each day, once in the morning and once in the evening. And as I said earlier, there are many games and activities so that you can get to know your group more, and you can get to know us souls more, so that we can form a better relationship over the time. And also, we just basically are the people who are in charge of your Bearcats bound orientation and all of your experiences as a freshman, incoming freshman. And I'd say that I was in the same position as you are a year ago. I attended the same webinar you're attending right now, and I'd say it was a pretty daunting experience, but eventually it worked out okay. I like to share 3 things that I like about UC as a student myself. One of them, first one, is the campus itself. It's a city campus, right? So everything is compact. You can just walk from one building to another within a few minutes, and it's just beautiful, and it feels like home. The second thing I would like to talk about is the campus is a diverse campus. You look around and you'll see people from all over the world, from all the countries, and it's just, you won't feel that you're the only one who's from somewhere else and not the United States. You have a lot of people who are just like you and who are just as far away from home as you are. And the third thing I like is the relationships I've developed here with my peers, with my professors, and with my advisors. They are all such amazing people, such intellectual people, and they will always be there if you need any kind of help throughout your 4 years or 5 years here at UC. And just concluding, you can reach out to your assigned student orientation leader anytime you want with any kind of questions. No questions is stupid, no question is dumb. We were in the same place, we had the same thoughts, we were similarly scared. So just reach out to us and we are here for you. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Preet. And I do want to reiterate and remind you all that the student orientation leaders, or we call them souls, are your connection from now until you come to UC. So again, there's no wrong answer or wrong question to ask. So any question, big or small, you can reach out to your student orientation leader that you'll see within your Bearcat portal and learn more about UC. If that person doesn't know the answer, they'll connect you with the right person on campus to answer it for you or answer it for them. So you've been admitted, and I know some of you have taken steps to confirm and already begin those next steps, but I'm still going to go through explaining how the process to confirm and how the process of using your Bearcat portal and iBearcats portal will go. So when you were admitted, you received an additional email with login information to this new portal that we call Bearcat Portal. The login information is temporary. So once you activate that account, you have a limited number of times to use your temporary password to get in. So if you get into that account and you haven't changed your password, please do so immediately. If you've not, go to bearcatportal.uc.edu and change that password. So that you're going to be accessing this account. Oh, my lights went out. You're going to access this account up until you come to UC. And then when you're a student at UC, you will still access this account for future needs, okay? If you have trouble accessing anything here, just reach out to our office to get more information. At UC, there's a 2-step duo process to get access to our accounts. So when you log in online, you'll see here with the question mark, you'll log in. You will actually have a secondary login called Duo. We all have this app on our phone. You can either have a phone call to your phone or a text to your phone to log into the app and accept and say, yes, this is me. And it just keeps everything more secure at our university. So you will have to download Duo to your cell phone in order to log into your Bearcat Portal account. This is the landing page. So when you get here, of course, you can see your name, your new UC ID number, which begins with the letter M, the college you're admitted to, your major, and then of course, all the general information about you, your address, and just important facts. If anything is wrong on this account, you do need to contact the orientation office to let them know so that they can go in the system on the back end and update that content. Your first step within the Bearcat portal is to confirm. So if you've already taken that, fantastic, you've achieved it, and you'll have a different screen. If you've not, confirming just means you've chosen UC, that you'd like to become a UC student. There is a quick form to complete, and you'll have a $100 fee to submit through a credit card to complete the whole process. So when you confirm, it activates many accounts at UC on the back end with your name and information to let us all know that you are going to come to UC in the summer or fall semester. On the right side, you'll see some important dates here. You can ignore the financial aid awards available. This is for students who are in the US, typically being awarded by different monies than the International Admissions Office awards. So, and then the second confirmation date is May 1st. So you do have to decide if you're coming to UC by May 1st. And then the housing application is due by May 3rd. Your tuition bill is available to see by July 15th. And then your bill is due on the 17th of August before classes start on August 22nd. So this new portal really offers some great information up front. And in the upper right corner, you'll see the actual total fees and tuition for one semester, including your program fee. Once you've confirmed, you'll then be notified to set up your UC official email. You'll get an email to do this. It typically takes up to 10 business days to receive this email. When you receive it, it's really important you go in and begin this process of setting up your official UC email, because communication will begin to send to that email account rather than your personal email account. So that would include anything from the orientation office, one-stop office about billing, the housing office, and possibly the registrar office as well. And after you confirm, you'll see some new tasks to complete within the Bearcat portal. It's important you do these in order. So you can see here we have the virtual advising prep session, pre-enrollment questionnaire, in-person Bearcats bound orientation, applying for housing, and then the math placement test. And of course, you can add your own personal profile picture to your account. And in the bottom right corner, you'll see something very important that Preet talked about. This is where you'll see your student orientation leader profile image. And that's Preet there. Pretty cool. And their contact information. So if you have Preet, he's your guy, you can contact him. If you have a different student orientation leader, you can reach out to that person as well. The virtual advising prep session is the time when you meet an academic advisor in your college. And I'm going to have Preet talk a little bit more about his experience meeting his academic advisor. And it is a virtual session.
Hey everyone. All right. So the first step you do after confirming your admission is you register for a virtual advising prep session. What that is basically it's a group advising session with your intended college advisors. If your if your major is not confirmed or you have a exploratory major, you'll be assigned that group. But what it is basically you meet with your advisors, and your advisors will explain to you how class registration works, what their job as academic advisors is, and in the last step of the meeting, you will have to register for a one-on-one appointment with your advisor, in which you will register your classes. But what this session is just like an information session, just advisors introducing themselves to you guys and just telling them what their job is and that they are there for you and for your academic needs.
And at this time, Preet, did you register for your classes?
Okay, so that depends on what college you are in. For some colleges like Applied Health Sciences, they do register for classes in this meeting, but I was an Arts and Sciences student and I did not register for my classes yet. I just scheduled a one-on-one meeting with my advisor so that I could talk to her and meet with her and discuss my options for my classes.
That's great. Thank you for sharing. And I asked you that so that students know that there might be a two-step process to meet your advisor and then at a later date sign up for classes within that college. The pre-enrollment questionnaire is essentially a survey about you for your academic advisor to see. This provides more information about your level of math, what type of math you're comfortable with, your English, what type of English ability you are at. And then there's a few more advising survey type questions. Preet, can you give some insight about this questionnaire since you completed it last year?
Yeah, so this question is like super easy. It'll take you like 10 to 15 minutes to complete, even less. It is just like general questions. It'll ask you how confident are you with your math skills, or how confident are you with your English skills, and what kind of classes do you want, what time do you want it to be, so that your advisor knows that what your preference would be, so that they can prepare beforehand for you, your classes and your schedule.
Thank you, Preet. And then in-person Bearcats bound orientation. For students who are not in the US, your scheduled date will be within the first week before classes start on August 22nd, 2022. So you will have the opportunity to have an in-person orientation experience that Preet had talked about earlier, to meet other UC students, to meet your student orientation leader in person, and to start to develop those friendships and understanding of the campus and understanding of what your life is going to be like as a college student living at UC. Next, we have our housing application. So once you confirm, you'll be able to apply for housing and register for orientation with typically like 1 to 2 days after. So they have to set up your accounts on the back end. When you apply for housing, there is a $75 fee that you'll pay. And it is an application essentially to say, yes, I want housing for when I come to campus in the summer or fall semester. Housing at UC is required for the first year for all students who live outside of the Cincinnati community. So if you live outside of a 50-mile or approximately an 80-kilometer radius of campus, you are required to live in one of our residential halls. We have over 16 options. There's apartment style, suite style, and traditional style. They range in price from about $15,000 US dollars down to $12,000 US dollars. And that cost includes your unlimited meal plan. So at UC, you might live in a space that's traditional with 3 roommates, and you might get to know a lot of people and be a bit more social. Or you might live in an apartment, depending on what costs you want to spend. Again, this will include your meal plan. So you'll be able to eat all day. If you want to have a snack, breakfast, a snack, lunch, another snack, and dinner and a snack, you can have as much as you want for fall and spring semester. We have 4 big dining halls. Many of the colleges have cafes in them. So they have different menus each day, international cuisine. If you have food allergies, they provide food for you as well. If you have a dairy allergy or nut allergy, they will have options for you to choose from. So I think they do a great job. I know students always compliment our dining hall chefs and the different facilities we have on campus. We also have other facilities, of course, but that you have to pay out of pocket, right? So if you're going to a fast food restaurant on campus or a Starbucks coffee shop on campus, you have to use your own money and it won't be used from your unlimited meal plan. Preet, can you talk a bit about your experience filling out the application and then your experience on the portal meeting people, right? So that you can meet new people to be your roommate, right? And select your roommates and then your housing.
Yeah, sure. Okay, so the housing application is fairly simple. It involves some steps ranging from your roommate preferences to your housing preferences. The roommate preferences will basically be a kind of a questionnaire asking what kind of a person you are, like how clean you are, how dirty you are, how early do you like to sleep, how late do you like to sleep, all of that questions, just so that they our system can find a compatible roommate for you. And also we do have an option if you know a person who's also going to UC and if you would like to live with them, we also have an option so that you however many people you are, you can form a group and live in the same room. So you can go to the website and explore the website and it'll show you everything. And also the unlimited meal plan is a mandatory thing for all first year students, and it is honestly one of the best things ever. You can just go whenever you're hungry and you just swipe your card and you can get a bite to eat. it's a pretty good experience staying just it's a pretty good experience in on campus in UC because the staff is also so good. So yeah, that's it.
Thanks, Preet. And let's say that you have family here in the Cincinnati area. You have an aunt or uncle or grandparent, or maybe your family's moving here. You would need to fill out paperwork to be exempt from being required to live on campus. Okay, and it is only required for the first year. So after that first year, you do not have to live on campus. You can find a house or an apartment with your friends, or if you want to live by yourself, you can. And you take on that responsibility yourself for the years 2, 3, 4, and 5 if you're in a 5-year program. However, if you love campus and you want to live here every year, it's 100% available to you. Okay, and we can answer more questions about housing as well. And then the math placement test. The math placement test is something every student that starts at UC must take. So every first-year student, whether they're from the US or international, has to take the math placement test. And this is to determine what type of math class your academic advisor should place you in. Some of you may think, I already took the math placement test for my admission into UC. You will have to take it again. So it is advised you take the test again to see what your current math abilities are. Because some of you may have improved. You've had more time in a math class. You've become a stronger student in the math field. So you should definitely take the test again. And it will just be an accurate representation of what your math abilities are so that you're placed in the right math class, okay? And I know it's not fun to take a math test, but I promise you it's worth doing it again, for sure. So these are your next steps essentially in the Bearcat portal. As an international student, you will receive an email. In this secondary email, it'll be for your iBearcatsGlobal services portal. It'll have your username and login information. When you go to the link for the iBearcatsGlobal services portal, it'll take you here. You'll click on New Student Scholar Login. This will be where you'll click all the way up until you start classes in the summer or fall semester. Here is the login page. You'll put in your UC identification number, your birth date, and that temporary unlimited access PIN. Once you're logged in, again, it is very important you change your password. So you must change that quickly so that you don't lose access to this account. When you enter your account, you'll see this, right? And you are in charge of completing the pre-arrival e-form group UC main campus services, right? So there's 9 steps. If you're going to UC Blue Ash or UC Claremont, you'll have the same steps to complete. This is what the steps look like. It's at the top, it'll say pre-arrival e-form group. And then it will have 1, 2, and then below this, I couldn't fit it all on my screen, but there are 9 more options to complete. Students always ask about how to pay the bill. So you'll see here transferring funds to the US. Flywire is the preferred company to use to pay your tuition. And paying tuition can be done on payment plans. It's not all due at one time. So you pay your fall semester first if you're starting fall, and then your second semester second. You can set up payment plans to make that work. In iBearcatsGlobal, it's really important that you complete the section number 2, get your I-20 or DS 2019. And you can see here, there's information on this page. I copied some of it and added it to my screen to show you. All students must fill out this form, okay? Even if it says here, students who will not be studying on an F1 or J1 status still need to complete this form. So it is required for you to complete, but you don't have to file with financial documents. For those of you who do, right, you'll need to get an I-20 by completing the financial certification form. And you can see that purple link at the bottom left of my screen. That is within this portal. When you click that link, it will upload a document to your screen. You'll need to download that document, print it off, and complete it, okay? And with that document, you will essentially have one larger document that your parents or family members have put together to show proof that your family has the funds, the financial backing to pay your tuition for one academic year. So tuition, well, not tuition, fees, housing, and health insurance. And we'll get to the cost. But you really have to show that you can pay for one full year. And if you do, our International Services Office will approve your I-20 and email it to you. So they're no longer mailing the I-20, which is fantastic because it took too long. Now they can simply just send it to you in an email That I-20 form will allow you to schedule a visa interview at a consulate or embassy and go through the process of getting your student visa to come over to the United States to attend classes at UC. If you're not going to live on campus, for whatever reason, you've got family here or something else, you'll need to fill out the room and board affidavit form as well. And then there's another link called Estimated Annual Expenses. That's a link to our website. It'll just show you more options to see the cost of education at UC. So let me move to the next slide here. Here you can see those costs. Okay, so we've broken it down by campus. We have main campus, UC Blue Ash College campus, and UC Claremont Regional campus. The UC Blue Ash and UC Claremont are our two smaller regional campuses and that some of you have been admitted to. And then our main campus has the highest cost. So you can see tuition and fees. Those living expenses are your housing and meal plan fee. And then health insurance, which you'll be required to buy from the University of Cincinnati. Okay. On the far right, you'll see Pathway Program. That is our Accelerated College English program, or we call ACE program. For those students starting in ACE, you'll see here, if you're on an ACE with 2 semesters, you'll pay $43,036. If you're ACE Engineering, you will be paying a little more, $56,796. So for your financial documentation you'll submit with your financial certification form, it must match the number, the estimated cost for you as a student. So if you're coming to UC main campus and you did not receive a scholarship, you will have to show you can pay approximately $46,290. Okay. If you received a scholarship, and let's say you were awarded a $10,000 merit-based scholarship, you would need to show you can pay $36,290 because you can subtract your scholarship from that total amount. And that's the same for UC Blue Ash, UC Claremont, and both pathway amounts. Okay. I know this can be a really confusing part of the process. Preet, I don't know if you can talk a little bit about it as well, because I know that you went through it. You are welcome to email the International Services Office. They have a different email than the admissions office because we're responsible for your application and getting you through the application process. And then once you move into the iBearcatsGlobal account, that is managed by the International Services Office, where they provide expert support for the I-20, any visa questions, any immigration questions at all. And when you're at UC, they're still in contact with you about your visa, right? And if you're on a co-op, they help coordinate and keep all that legal. All right, so they do a lot. They're really great. They're total experts. Here are some great contacts for you to screenshot on your phone or your laptop or computer. You might already have all this, which is great. But international admissions, that's us, the admissions office. International.students@uc.edu is that services office for iBearcatsGlobal. For any questions about your I-20, definitely reach out to them. And then orientation, UC Housing, if you have questions about housing, and then the one-stop office, which is who you'll contact about billing. So if you have questions about Flywire or payment plans, you would go to One Stop to ask those questions. And of course, our office, like myself or Lynn or Stacy or anyone you've been talking with by email or WhatsApp or phone, you can ask us and we will direct you to the right person. And the student orientation leader will as well. So we're all here to help kind of guide you through to the right spot.